So Pakistan's Jammu and Kashmir gambit seems to have been shot down by India. India once again cornering the terror state at the UN, and India has now rebuked Pakistan's Jammu and Kashmir remarks, saying that, and this has been reiterated time and again, that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of the Indian territory, was, is, and will be. Now, India's claim, as far as calling Pakistan's claim on Kashmir to be absolutely baseless and hitting out at the rhetoric, and Pakistan has now been told to act responsibly by New Delhi, as India continues to call out Pakistan's propaganda as an empty rhetoric that will not change facts. Now, India exposing Pakistan's false narrative, saying that there is no room for Pakistan's misinformation, and Jammu and Kashmir that remains as an inalienable part of India. India's permanent representative at the UN had delivered a statement at the UNGA's plenary on annual report of the Security Council.
Mr. President, the unwarranted reference by Pakistan to a matter strictly internal to India, the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, has compelled me to respond. Pakistan has decided not to spare this forum either from their characteristic misuse of august UN platforms for their divisive political interests. Abuse of its presence on the Security Council by Pakistan, including through the circulation of several misinformed and misleading communications, also testifies to this counterproductive approach. I'd like to remind Pakistan that being a member of the UN Security Council is a huge responsibility. It's not a forum for peddling biased and false narratives. I'd like to make it loud and clear. Jammu and Kashmir was, is, and will always remain an integral and inalienable part of India. Any assertions to the contrary are baseless, devoid of, and inconsistent with historical facts. Empty rhetoric and hollow claims by Pakistan would not change this fundamental reality. In the interest of time or the wider UN membership, I would not delve any further into this. Mr. President, finally, we all recognize the importance of reform of the Security Council to make it fit for purpose to handle contemporary and future challenges that we face. The current structure reflects geopolitical realities of 1945. Retaining the status quo has so far not enabled effective functioning of the Security Council and cannot do so in future. The marginal reform in the 1960s that expanded only the non-permanent category has not changed the fundamental mode of functioning of the Security Council in any impactful manner. Expansion of both permanent and non-permanent categories is central to implementing real and meaningful reform. In closing, it is India's hope that greater importance is attached to the formulation of the annual report and its consideration thereof by the UN General Assembly so as to accurately capture the spirit of Article 24.3 of the UN Charter. I thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President.
All right. Well, that is India's stand at the UNGA, especially when it comes to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And that has compelled India to respond, as Pakistan has decided not to spare this forum either from its characteristic misuse of the UN platforms for its divisive political interests. Let's connect with Pathikrit on this. Pathikrit, good morning. This is the old record, the old rhetoric of Pakistan that continues to play at the UN, which has no value, no substance.
Well, absolutely, and it is very unfortunate that United Nations, in spite of knowing all kind of activities that Pakistan has been systematically involved for decades, including in all kinds of harboring terror activities and terror modules, which eventually harm the whole world. Unfortunately, UN had turned a blind eye to many things, including issues of money laundering and financing of terror activities and Pakistan's activities not only inside India, but their activities in many parts of the world, which does create problem. So, it is an important aspect that multilateral institutions have a complete relook as to what they consider terrorism. Prime Minister Modi has for a long time, advocated the importance of defining terrorism. There are extremely unfortunate steps which should have been taken, or there are steps that have been taken by United Nations, which shows that they have been absolutely unrealistic in terms of their approach towards Pakistan. Yes. So Pakistan, in spite of being a provocateur, Pakistan, in spite of being a perpetrator, have often used the UN platform to accuse others whereas the victims of terrorism which emanates from Pakistan, they do not get the right kind of notice or ear from the United Nations. So on one hand, it is important for India to keep on raising the issues from time to time. At the same time, it shows the reason why many countries do believe that the multilateral institutions like United Nations are losing their sheen, and they haven't been able to serve the purpose for which they were created. Back to you.
Absolutely, because this empty rhetoric and the hollow claims by Pakistan will not change the fundamental reality that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral and an inalienable part of the Indian territory. Thank you very much, Pathikrit, for joining us here on the broadcast.